The vast majority of human rights abuses allegedly committed by SOLRs waging Mexico's war on drug gangs go unsolved and unpunished, despite reforms letting civilian authorities investigate and prosecute such crimes, a report said Tuesday. The Washington Office on Latin America study, described as the first comprehensive analysis of military abuse investigations handled by the Attorney General's office, found there were just 16 convictions of SOLRs in the civilian judicial system out of 505 criminal investigations from 2012 through 2016, a prosecutorial success rate of 3.2%. Moreover, there were only 2 chain-of-command responsibility convictions for officers whose orders led to abuses, it said. The report said factors that hinder civilian investigations of the military include parallel civilian and military probes, limited access to troops' testimony, and SOLRs tampering with crime scenes or giving false testimony. This militarized public security model has negatively impacted Mexico's criminal justice system. The civilian justice system faces challenges, including military authorities' actions resulting in the obstruction or delay of investigations, which limits civilian authorities' ability to sanction SOLRs implicated in crimes and human rights violations, the group said. The Attorney General's office, the Defense Department, and other government offices did not immediately respond to requests for comment. The military has played a central role in the war on drug cartels since at least late 2006, when newly installed President Felipe Calderón deployed SOLRs across the country to fight the gangs. The militarized offensive has continued under current President Enrique Peña Nieto. During that time there have been numerous accusations of serious human rights violations by SOLRs, such as torture, and forced disappearances. Critics say the Mexican military is not trained to carry out policing activities. However, many police departments in the country are seen as corrupt, outgunned, and even in cahoots with organized crime gangs, and thus unreliable allies against the cartels. One high-profile rights case involving the military was the 2014 ing of 22 suspected criminals by SOLRs in the central town of Litlaya. The military initially claimed they'd in a fierce firefight, but evidence suggested there was no protracted shootout and some of them appeared to have been executed. 7 SOLRs were accused of homicide, but the charges were thrown out by civilian courts due to lack of evidence. In August of this year, a judge ordered an investigation into whether army commanders played any role in the ings. The report said Litlaya is an example of a case in which military investigators had access to the crime scene and SOLRs testimony before civilian authorities. The Litlaya case illustrates that holding military and civilian investigations concurrently delays and obstructs justice, and shows that in military jurisdiction, cases of grave human rights violations also go unchecked or remain unpunished, the report said. Reforms in 2014 changed how allegations of abuses by the military can be investigated, including the right to conduct a civilian probe in such cases and for victims to participate. Among the 16 successful prosecutions of SOLRs carried out by the Attorney General's office are convictions for the cover-up of a human rights violation and desecration of a corpse, forced disappearance, homicide, injuries and trespassing, and rape, the report said. The 2 chain-of-command convictions the study found were of a lieutenant colonel and a second lieutenant in 2 forced disappearance cases in the northern states of Chihuahua and Nuevo León. The Washington Office on Latin America said the report was based on 3 main sources: interviews with human rights groups and lawyers, right-to information requests that yielded information including on convictions of SOLRs, and collaboration with journalists who created a website on the issue, cadenademundo.org, Spanish for chain of command. It added that it was possible there may have been more convictions than the 16 it documented, but authorities did not report them in response to right-to information requests. The United States has supported Mexico's security efforts through the multi-billion-dollar Merida initiative, including outfitting the military with helicopters and training security forces. According to the report, more than $521 million in counter-drug assistance has flowed from the U.S. Defense Department to the Mexican military since 2008. The report calls for measures from both Mexico and the United States to bolster the Mexican judicial system. It also urges Washington to condition aid money on improvements in the human rights record of Mexican security forces and to enforce U.S. laws barring funding of units known to have committed gross rights violations.